Today, something incredible is happening. We are going to be revisiting what many call the best PlayStation ever made, the PS2. So I booted up 10 plus PlayStation 2 hidden gems and had an absolute blast with them. So join me on this epic adventure, and before we get started, grab yourself some pizza, kick back and make yourself comfortable, and let's get the kick out of gaming. As always, we are starting off this list with recommendations from you guys. Starting with Tumo Fiji and The Red Star, a beat-em-up arcade game mixed with some run-and-gun gameplay. I did really enjoy the challenging levels, but I wish there was a bit more to the story since the world seems really interesting. The second recommendation comes from J-Man Rising with Shadow of Rome, a bloody good gladiator game with a really good combat system and a story to go along. I highly recommend you check it out. The game and my first PS2 Hidden Gems video where I talked about it. But now let's officially kick off this list with Rampage Total Destruction. Hold on to your giant monster-sized pants, because Rampage Total Destruction is about to unleash a hilarious destructive rampage on your PlayStation 2. This game is the ultimate stress relief, where you get to unleash your inner monster and wreak havoc. The premise and gameplay are simple. We are playing as a massive cartoony creature, waltzing through the streets causing chaos and destroying everything in sight, while trying to maximize our points. From skyscrapers to vehicles, nothing is safe from your mighty fists and stomping feet. The crazy thing about this game is that even though we are doing the same exact thing over and over again, it's always fun. Add in a friend and you've got a good couple of hours of pure entertainment. For a PS2 era game, the graphics still have this nostalgic charm, and the cartoonish look fits it perfectly. Watching buildings crumble and collapse in a cloud of dust and debris is super satisfying. Rampage Total Destruction also succeeds in bringing together all the games of the franchise on one CD, since you can play the Yola games as well, and this makes them easily accessible. 3 games for the low price of 1 is a great deal. In conclusion, this is the perfect pick up and play button masher to unleash your inner monster. Next up, we have Berserk, Millennium Empire Arc Chapter of the Holy Demon War, or short, Berserk PS2. Once we boot up the game, we are dropped right into the action-packed experience that brings the gritty and dark world of Berserk to life. It offers fans of the series a chance to immerse themselves in the world of Guts and his quest for revenge. As Guts, we can unleash brutal and powerful attacks, and most low-level enemies die from a single swing, while we chaining together combos to take down hordes of goons. It sells the power fantasy of controlling Guts perfectly. For newcomers, the story might be a bit overwhelming, but for fans it offers exactly what we want, plus a unique storyline that adds to the overall lore. I did really enjoy the story and how it toys with the idea that the Band of Hawks would side with Griffin even after all he'd done. But as you might have guessed, it's not all sunshine and rainbows in the PlayStation 2 world of Berserk. One thing that I have to point out is the paint-by-numbers level design. We fight our way from point A to point B and carve our way through masses of low IQ goons. And while chopping up trolls and demons isn't without its charm, the numerous awesome boss fights are the main highlight of Berserk PS2, with an emphasis on fast-paced cinematic action and strong storytelling. I was surprised how much fun I had with this game. It's tailor-made for Berserk fans, with all the giant sword-swinging, demon-slashing violence that we've come to expect. And if you're wondering now, why can't I find this game in my local video game store or online shop? It's a digital exclusive release, meaning Berserk PS2 was a game that came out exclusively in Japan, But thanks to the power of the internet, there is an English fan translation out there waiting for you in the depths of the Matrix, and I highly recommend you hunt it down, like the next game on this list, Dr. Muto. Get ready to enter the wacky world of Dr. Muto, where mad science meets 3D platforming. We play as the Doctor himself, a brilliant scientist with 2 left hands and a face that only a mother could love. But thanks to his wits and armed with an arsenal of crazy gadgets, we embark on a journey that involves transforming ourselves into all sorts of wacky creatures. We are exploring a series of different worlds, wreaking havoc and causing mayhem wherever we go. The game encourages creativity and chaos at the same time. And of course, no mad scientist adventure is complete without a healthy dose of slapstick humor. Prepare yourself for explosive accidents, comical misshapes, and moments that will make you question your sanity. It's like watching a Looney Tunes cartoon on an acid trip. In conclusion, Dr. Muto is a madcap masterpiece. It's a game that doesn't take itself too seriously, so go ahead and unleash your inner mad scientist. Before you check out the next game, Airblade, strap on your hoverboard, put on your raddest 90s outfit, and get ready to experience the game that turns gravity into a punchline. Airblade. Airblade takes the concept of extreme sports and cranks it up to 11. You will find yourself grinding on skyscrapers, leaping across rooftops, and even soaring through shopping malls. The levels themselves are a riot of creativity and oddity, and each environment offers its own set of challenges. You might find yourself delivering pizzas while pulling off insane tricks or infiltrating secret facilities to recover stolen hoverboards. The controls take a little while to getting used to, but once you master the art of defying gravity, you will be pulling off tricks that would make the skateboarding legend himself jealous. In conclusion, Airblade is a hilarious and adrenaline-pumping joyride. So, grab your hoverboard, embrace the madness, and be prepared to soar through the skies with a smile on your face. And you will continue to have a good time with Predator Concrete Jungle. In Predator Concrete Jungle, we play as the most fearsome intergalactic hunter with a thirst for trophies. But instead of stalking through tropical jungles, this time we'll find ourselves in the concrete jungle. We play as a predator named Scarface, who is tasked to kill a 1930s mob boss, but like a true gamer, we fail hard, leaving all our equipment behind, and instead of taking the blame, we are nuking the entire city. So we are exiled and have to live on an alien planet from now on. 100 years later, we are offered a chance for redemption. The only thing we have to do is reclaim our stolen goods. However, the mob utilized our technology for criminal purposes. But with our hunting license revoked, we are hunting down those cyberpunk racial stereotypes and some ex-cornstar hookers too. Yes, the story is a bit wild, but I had my fun with it. And it's a pretty unique setting for sure. Another wild thing is the gameplay, which is a mix of stealth and bloody good action. This game has the gameplay DNA for a perfect gaming experience, with a killer arsenal of weapons, bloody good animations, and open levels waiting to be explored. But on the other hand, we have some unresponsive controls and really dumb enemy AI. It's both frustrating and hilarious to play at the same time. But there is a certain charm to Predator Concrete Jungle. It's like watching a B-movie that's so bad it's actually good and worth checking out for sure.
Ratchet & Clank, jetzt auf PlayStation 2.
The PlayStation 2 is an incredible system. But you know what else is incredible? Supporting your favorite YouTube content creator by kicking the like button. I would really appreciate that. And thanks in advance. And now, on with the video. The next game on this list. The Operative, No One Lives Forever. In No One Lives Forever, we play as Kate Archer, a failed thief who now works as a low-level spy. Good thing is, she knows how to kick butt and deliver a killer punchline at the same time. One day we are sent on a mundane mission which turns out to be a setup for an ambush, where our partner is killed by a new terrorist organization named Harm, and now we are trying to save the world from those evil goons. The writing in No One Lives Forever is what truly shines. The game's dialogue is sharp, witty and filled with clever references, from hilarious conversations with fellow agents to absurd encounters with villains. The story keeps you entertained from start to finish. On the other hand, the first-person shooter gameplay is a great mix of stealth, shooting and pure absurdity. During the story of the game, we are sent on missions all over the world and into hilarious situations. From jumping out of a plane with a parachute to taking out enemies with outlandish gadgets. This is a non-stop action fest, and for a PS2 era game the graphics still have a charming retro appeal, capturing the style and aesthetics of the 60s spy movies. In conclusion, The Operative No One Lives Forever is a spy adventure which embraces its comedic side, offering a delightful mix of stealth, action and witty banter. And no PS2 hidden gems list is complete without a light gun shooter. And this time we have Virtual Cop Elite Edition. This is an absolute classic and must play. In this game we are a policeman who is tasked with taking down a criminal organization called Evil. I see a pattern here. Whatever. We are engaging the criminal underworld and blasting those goons off the screen. And like in every other light gun shooter, we are armed with a 6-shooter and unlimited bullets to defend ourselves. There are tons of weapon pickups and interactive environments in every level. And one thing I have to mention is that the bad guys must have trained at the Academy of Overacting, because their death scenes deserve an award. Every time I hit a goon, they flail, twist and contort like they were auditioning for a freestyle dance competition. In conclusion, this is one of those games that takes me back to the good old arcade days. An easy pick up and play light gun shooter and an adrenaline rush for 3 hours straight. The single player campaign is already a blast, but when you play it with a friend, you will get the kick out of gaming. As a little heads up though, there was no US release for this game, so my friends from the United States have to import this gem. The next game on this list might be a bit easier to obtain around the world though. Forgotten Realms Demon Stone. In Forgotten Realms Demon Stone, we embark on an adventure with a trio of unlikely heroes. There's the brooding warrior, the sassy rogue and the wisecracking mage. Together they form a dysfunctional yet endearing band of adventurers who fight orc armies and unleash evil onto this world. But by mistake, of course. So now we must undo our missteps by joining forces to right the wrongs we've caused. When it comes to the actual gameplay, get ready to slash, cast spells and unleash devastating combos as all 3 heroes. The combat is fast paced and satisfying, but it's the moments in between that truly shine. The characters' one-liners and banter add an extra layer of entertainment while we are slashing our way through the demon goons. All while we are fighting our way through a fantasy world filled with awe-inspiring landscapes and battlefields with dragons. And if this reminds you of another game about a fellowship that was hunting down one ring to bind them all, you are goddamn right. The same devs made this game and it truly shows. It has the same amount of polish and feel to it. In conclusion, Forgotten Realms Demon Stone is a delightful mix of action, humor and adventure. So, grab your sword, prepare your most cutting insults and embark on an epic quest before you enter the Matrix. Get ready for a mind-bending journey into the digital abyss in Enter the Matrix. If you ever wanted to experience the joy of mastering the ancient art of controller kung fu, this game has got you covered. Feel like the chosen one when you are dodging bullets, running on walls while shooting, and finish your enemies with a kick to the face. The combat and fighting are feeling great and they do have some real impact to it. Just look at him go. It's one of the better movie tie-in games which expands the lore and lets us play as one of two characters. Both have slightly different levels which make a second playthrough mandatory. The continued Matrix lore and the cutscenes are exactly why I replay Enter the Matrix every time I watch the first movie. What brings the code of this game down though is the bland level environment and some unintentional game glitches. But on the other hand, we are getting basically two games for one, the story mode and the multiplayer fighting mode, which you can unlock. Man, I miss times when video games allowed us to unlock cool stuff. Anyway, grab your controller, buckle up and be prepared to take the red pill for the final game on this list. Urban Chaos. Do not be fooled by the generic cover. Urban Chaos Riot Response is freaking amazing. The moment you start the game, you are surprised with chaos parody news broadcasts and a surprising awesome rock theme song on the menu, which is covered in American flags and SWAT guys with guns. This has to be one of the most patriotic video game openings ever. As a freedom-loving gamer, we have to stop a group of terrorists called the Burners, which are causing chaos all across America, and the Riot Response team has to deal with it. We play as Nick Mason, the best of the best, and we have to both fight the flaming mobs and save civilians for the sake of the city. While the story is a bit thin, the atmosphere and tone are spot on, and the gunplay in Urban Chaos is a freaking blast. It's shoot to kill in each mission, but there are also some secondary objectives to complete, which can include a specific number of headshots, collecting masks, and obtaining a specific number of arrests. By completing those secondary objectives, we are getting rewarded with medals. The more medals we have, the more upgrades we can unlock. Once we level up our firearms, they will get ridiculously powerful and leave those Jason Voorhees cosplaying goons as gory messes on the floor. Overall, Urban Chaos Riot Response is a very fun game. It kind of makes you feel like a badass cop with no regards for public safety who will do whatever it takes to bring down the bad guys. It's almost criminal that this game hasn't seen a re-release or remake yet. And that's it, my dudes. These are 10 of my favorite PlayStation 2 hidden gems. Did I miss your favorite PS2 game? Then let me know in the comments down below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, kick the like button, sharing is caring, and subscribe. But most importantly, have a great day and get the kick out of gaming.
Muto fought back reporters saying, "What could possibly go wrong? Something's gone horribly wrong. Muto's device has destroyed planet Midway."